Hey, good morning and welcome to 5 Minutes of Freedom. It's the 27th day of July. Thank you so much for spending some time with us this morning. 5 Minutes of Freedom is brought to you by Archangel Outreach Ministries. Check us out online at archangeloutreach.org or check out our Facebook page at Archangel Outreach Ministries. Thank you so much for this time that you spend with us in the morning. And I want to get into the scripture this morning. It's Romans chapter 5, verse 3. Before I get into that, like I usually do, I'm going to talk to you about a little personal experience. And you know, a lot of people, and especially myself, when I was in that point, you know, and I had went through life, and life had opportunities for me, but the thing was is I put myself in situations and I would suffer and I'd go through those different trials and tribulations, and I've never really understood why that I had to go through the suffering or why those different things come up. And I do realize it was because of the choices I made, but it seemed like the suffering went on for a period of time. It went on in a way where it felt like, you know, it had something to do with something. There was a meaning behind it. And, you know, as I got to the point where I was in a solitary confinement cell, and you get to that point, you're saying, you know what? I'm better than this. I can do better than this. I can stand on something more solid than what I've been standing on myself, because I'm sick and tired of this stuff. Now, this scripture, it's detailed in many different facets, and that's why I love this scripture. But the one thing about this scripture, it talks about hope. And even though I was in that solitary confinement cell, you know, and I was lost, there was a hope that came over me. You know, when I gave my life to the Lord, there was a hope. And I always joke around, you give somebody a little bit of hope, watch out, because they are going to tear down walls, they're going to make heads turn, and they're going to change their life for the best. And that's what this scripture talks about. It talks about the suffering and how it develops us into a person to where we gain that hope. And once we gain that hope is a motivator. And a lot of people say, well, I get hope, but I'm hopeless. I believe hopeless is the lack of motivation. You'll get hope from other people. You'll get hope from being around positive thinkers. You'll get hope in everyday life if you have action behind what you're wanting to do. And that's what this scripture talks about. Let me read it right now. It's Romans chapter 5, verse 3. It says, not only so, but we also rejoice in our suffering, because we know that our suffering produces perseverance, and perseverance character, and character hope. And right at the very beginning of the next scripture, in verse 4, or verse 5, verse 4, excuse me, and hope does not disappoint us. Hope doesn't disappoint. God gives us that hope, because you get that hope, you get that motivation, you're like, I'm going to do this, you know, dadgummit, no matter what. And it says that we rejoice in our suffering. We rejoice in the things that we go through, the trials that we go through, because there's another scripture in here that says iron sharpens iron. You know, when we go through those tribulations, we go through those trials, there's going to be a time where we're being built up by strength. We're being built up by learning not what to, you know, the things that we should not do. And it builds us up, and it makes us stronger to be able to stand against other sufferings that come against us. You know, perseverance is the standing against stuff, to be able to persevere and not be knocked over by the same stuff that's knocked us over before. The steadily getting up. I'm going to persevere through this no matter what the situation is. And the suffering allows us to become strong in that. Now, through perseverance, we build character. And the character is the simple want that we want to do the right thing. We want to make the next right choice. We want to be a great example for the person that comes behind us. Some of the things that I do today, do I need to do them? Absolutely not. But I want to show other people that it can be done. That I once suffered. And through that suffering, I learned to persevere. And through that perseverance, I gained a character that will only allow me to set a good example for the people that come behind me. And even though the character and the perseverance and the suffering happen, even though the things that are going on in my life, I get hope that I can maintain that what God has given me, and I have hope that I can achieve a higher level today than I've ever achieved before. And it only came through the suffering, the perseverance, and the character that work hand in hand together. And hope never fails, because God gave us His Spirit and gave us His love, that we should have that hope every day, that today will be better than yesterday and tomorrow better than both. I get excited because I was given a little bit of hope, and that little bit of hope manifested into something much greater. And my goal today is to pass that hope on to you. But the key is to pick up this book right here, the Holy Bible. Find someone that understands this scripture. Find a pastor, a preacher, or minister, or find someone like me. And if you need to contact me, go to Facebook and look me up or email me at johan@hotmail.com. I will talk to you. I had a lady instant message me last night, and we had a great conversation. I'm open to doing that. But here's the thing. Make the decision today. Do you want some hope and there's more in there that you want to have? All you got to do is, you know you suffered. You know you've been getting up, so you persevered. I know you've got the character and the hope is there. But the hopelessness is the lack of motivation. Get motivated today and act on that hope. 5 Minutes of Freedom brought to you by Archangel Outreach Ministry. God bless you and have a great day.